We back, day 9. Went back to this old spot. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Just didn't want to be in the house, so I got out, went to the little media room in my complex. See how it goes. See how the acoustics are. It's a little, no, it's really loud in here. I don't know if it's loud for you, but we're gonna do it in here. Let's do it. Day 9 training camp. This is a pretty long day of training camp. It was a long practice, 2 hours. Sessions were crazy. Yeah, so let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. And pull out the notes. Pull out the notes. Shout out to my man Spencer Burford. He absolutely killed the rookie hype machine. Absolutely killed the rookie hype machine. The little salsa, little suavemente. Spencer Burford, man. I love his personality, and I'm glad you guys are finally getting to see it. This guy's so funny. I love him. A couple news before the day before we get into it. The 49ers officially signed offensive lineman tackle Jordan Mills. He was there today, and he wears number 50. Let's see. Yeah, Jordan Mills, he wears number 50. And then Willie Snead officially signed. He wears number 18. Everybody was talking about how they gave him Dante Pettis vibes. Y'all need to stop that. He's Willie Snead. I mean, you can't choose a number at this point. You get what you get. He's 18. We're going to roll with it. So he was in practice today, and as was Jordan Mills. So the thing with Jordan Mills, they had Jalen Moore, who has a leg injury, and they needed depth. So you add him in there. You got some depth. We'll see how it goes. I don't know if he's going to make the roster, but we'll see. All right. And then Willie Snead, solid veteran. I don't know if he's going to make the roster, but again, we'll see. Preseason's coming next week. See how these guys roll in action. So let's go. Let's go. My man Media says they need to put me out there to hype up the crowd. Can you imagine if 49er Media was out there to hype up the crowd? That'd be funny. So get right into it. So day 9, a pretty, like I said, long day of camp. Trey Lance was kind of up and down through the day. And, there was 2 big drops, one of them from Juwan Jennings, one of them from JaMycal Hasty. And it kind of messed up his day, but he did finish strong. I'll tell you what, man. He did have an interception. We'll talk about that later. But I tell you what, Trey Lance finished very strong, very strong. So at the end of the practice period, there was like a 2-minute drill situational period, right? There was about a minute and, minute and 15 placed on the clock. And they placed him on the ball on the 35-yard line, 1st and 10, and they had to move all the way down the field, right? So they made the scoreboard set to 24-20, right? Niners were down, and the whole point of this is it's a situational football drive, and you have to see if you can drive down the field with a minute or so left on the clock. Trey Lance went 5 for 6, 80 yards, and he scored a game-winning touchdown pass to Ray McCloud. This was how practice ended. It was phenomenal. Again, training camp to practice was kind of up and down for Lance and the offense, but they finished on an absolute high note, which is very encouraging. So I'll go through it. So he scrambles. He hits George Kittle on a nice pass, incomplete to Hasty. Then he comes right back. Kittle. Oh, no, this was Debo. He hits Debo. Beautiful pass. And then another scramble. And then he hits Kittle again. And then with 6 seconds left on the clock, Trey Lance finds Ray McCloud over the middle with Darcus Dennard in coverage. Touchdown. Time is over. And it's the end of practice. That's how practice ended today. And it was amazing. It was amazing. That's how practice ended today. So they really ended on a very good note. And speaking of Ray McCloud, this guy had a great practice today. He was catching passes from Nate Sudfeld today and showing that elusiveness. He had some nice catches from Trey Lance. I'll tell you what, Ray McCloud is like the Yak brother in training. He's like the mini Yak brother. I'll tell you, man, you got Debo and Ayuk, but Ray is like the next Yak brother. I'm telling you, I love Ray McCloud. This guy is very slippery, very elusive. I think I've said this every day. Ray McCloud continues to show that elusiveness. Like, he's going to be a great return man, but he's going to be in this offense, and there's going to be some times where he gets some nice little plays, and it's going to be fun. So Ray McCloud, very good day. Got the game-winning touchdown in the situational drill to end training camp today. So Very good, very good. I like to see Lance and Kittle kind of building that chemistry. They had a lot of nice little plays today on that final drive. And then throughout camp, they've been starting to slowly build that chemistry. So I noticed today that Lance and Kittle, that chemistry is getting a little bit quicker, a little bit better. So that was the end of training camp. So it was good. Let's see. Let's get to some questions. What's up, John? What's up, Raphael? What's up, sad Niner fan? What's up with Kittle? He says, well, like I just said, he's really gaining some chemistry with with Trey Lance. So George Kittle and Trey Lance are continuing to get better on a daily basis. So Trey Lance overall for the day was 11 for 18. He had a touchdown and an interception, and he had there was 2 drop passes. Again, Jauan Jennings, really bad drop, and then JaMycal Hasty, we already know he's gonna drop the ball. That man coats his hands with cocoa butter, I think, before the game. I don't know. JaMycal Hasty's always had a problem with drops, and it's not changing. Jauan Jennings has had some drops in training camp, and I'm a little worried. He needs to clean that up. That's all I'll say. I mean, he's still gonna, I think, have a solid year, but right now he needs to clean that up. A lot of pressure on Jauan Jennings. I think he's coming into this training camp with a lot of pressure, just like Brandon Aiyuk did last year. And sometimes it's hard to respond to that pressure. So let's see if Jauan Jennings can clean that up in the preseason and kind of fix that up. So the worst play today from Trey Lance was that pick 6 from Jimmy Ward. I mean, it was just great coverage, but Trey Lance drops back. He looks in the flat, looks for Elijah Mitchell, and Jimmy Ward just jumped. I don't know where Jimmy Ward came out of. I don't know how he saw it. Jumped it, boom, clipped it, and he takes it to the house. Jimmy Ward was on clamps today. He looked really good today. Big time pick 6. After the practice, Trey Lance said, in his press conference, he goes, yeah, I'm sure Jimmy Ward is going to have something to say. They're locker mates. And he goes, don't worry, because I'm going to get right back at him tomorrow. He's going to come right back and challenge Jimmy Ward tomorrow. You got to love that mentality. I really like how Trey Lance handles himself. And he knows he made a mistake, and he's going to come right back. But the good thing about it is he makes that interception, and then the next installment was that 2-minute drive, and he drove him all the way down the field. So really good to see. Trey's really responding well to the adversity. I love it. And one thing I got to mention is the fact that Trey Lance, his locker is right in between Jimmy Ward and Jason Verrett. And that's what he said. He says, I have 2 solid veteran guys that I could run over everything with. They could tell him everything, and they could probably tell him, hey, you read this wrong. You need to do this better. 2 guys like that in the secondary, Jason Verrett and Jimmy Ward, who've been in this game for a long time, are his locker mates. That's so good for Trey Lance. You couldn't have set it up any better. I think they purposely did that. Give him 2 of the longest tenured players in the league to learn from and run through any type of coverage with. It's really smart that they set it up like that. And I think Trey Lance is lucky that he has these 2 guys as his locker mates. So let's get to some other notes in camp. Trey Lance, again, he didn't have a spectacular day, but he did have a strong finish. And it was just a great way to end the day. Like, this is how he's going to end the day, really strong. And tomorrow he can feed off or build off, a strong end to the practice. So I like that. What's up, Peter Parker? Yeah. Like he says, he loves hearing the aspects of the team are getting better and better following practice. This team is going to be special. Wrong, it might be something bad that happens, but the next day they learn from that mistake, they fix it. And that's what I've really noticed in this training camp. There's been a lot of instances where something was bad one day, and then the next day they've corrected it and it's looking better. Like Jauan Jennings, I know he's had some drops, but he stayed after practice to really work on those issues, so he's trying to get himself better. Aaron Banks, there's been some times where he had some bad moments, but he's really put in the work, and he's trying to fix it. Everybody is out there trying to fix whatever mistakes that they had. So it's a really strong team, and it's a really well-coached team. And that's the key is this coaching staff is if they see a mistake, they pounce on it to help fix it. So I like that. You're right. Hey, Peter Parker. So it's good. Anyways, let's get back to some notes, and then I'll take some questions, and then we'll get back to some notes. So Nick Bosa was not active today. The Bear was in street clothes, so, the man, he gets a day off. as he should. He deserves a day off. The guy's a beast. He's a monster. His freaking body's jacked, and he dominates every time he's in. So because Bosa was not in, Samson Ebicam got to play up against Trent Williams today, and Trent Williams dominated. He absolutely crushed this man. So he stonewalled him. Trent Williams is the best player in football, and Ebicam had a tough day against Trent, as expected. We're going to talk about these one-on-one drills right now with linemen, O-line, D-line. Burford, solid. I mean, this man stonewalled everybody. He didn't let anybody get past him on these one-on-one drills. I really like what I seen out of Spencer Burford. And again, he had the little suavemente, little rookie hype machine. It was a big day for Burford. Good day today in the one-on-one drills, team drills. He was the first team right guard again. I hope he can continue it, and I hope they don't replace him down the line because, and I'll get to that, the center position still up for grabs. So that might change what happens with Burford. But again, Spencer Burford, really good. One-on-one drills. He holds his blocks. He's getting better every day. He's getting more confident. I love it. Javon Kinlaw did have a rep on one-on-ones today. He was back in practice, and he beat Banks. Looked quick, looked athletic, little chop move. Kind of looked like Aaron Donald out there. I was like, good night, Sally. Javon Kinlaw. He's quick. His body is in great shape. Javon Kinlaw looks so good. So good. I mean, he looks like a whole new man. Javon Kinlaw is happy, focused, and he looks fast out there. So it's good to see. That brings me to my next topic that I was saying. Jake Brendel or Dan Brunskill. Who the hell is going to play center? I don't know. Do you know? Probably not. Today, though, Jake Brendel stayed with the first team at center for the second day in a row. Jake Brendel was the first team center today taking reps. He looks better than Brunskill. He does. Jake Brendel looks better than Brunskill at center. I know Brunskill is good at right guard. I know he can play everywhere on the line. He's a Swiss Army knife. I get it. Blah, 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 blah. We heard all the stories. We know that Brunskill can play right guard, right tackle, left guard. He can play it all. Not center. He's not good at center. Jake Brendel, second day in a row at center, first team. And that brings me to my conundrum. Now, okay, let's say Jake Brendel wins the starting center job, right? If Brunskill doesn't win the center spot, will they move him over to the right guard spot? I don't know, because they are paying him a lot, right? And he's kind of that veteran guy. Would they move him over to right guard? And if they do, that means Spencer Burford's out of the picture for start. And I would hate to see it because Spencer Burford's playing so good. He's working so hard. He's a rookie. This is going to be great experience for him. That would crush his confidence if they move Brunskill over to the right guard spot. I would hate it. I hope that they make Brunskill like that Swiss Army knife type guy. He's definitely not center. He cannot snap the ball to save his life. Jimmy Robinson says, "What's up, Raj? Sounds like Brunskill can't snap the ball." Yeah, exactly. He doesn't have that ability to snap it, and that's just because I don't think he's a natural setter. He's not trained to do those things. He just doesn't have that in him. Jake Brendel's a multi-year veteran. I know he never played, but he's been a backup center, so he's practiced that type of technique through his whole career. Dan Brunskill plays everywhere. And that's the thing I don't like about having Dan Brunskill play center. They make him play every single place on the line, so he can't really master anything on the line. He can't master any spot. He really can't. He just can't master a spot because he's having to play musical, chairs on the line. I don't like that. I know he's versatile, but he's just not a center to me. But yeah, I hope Jake Brendel wins the position. And again, 2 days in a row with the first team, that's kind of big news right there. That's breaking news. Jake Brendel, 2 days in a row at center with the first team. It's breaking news. It's a developing story, I guess. We'll call it a developing story. Let's continue with the O-line, D-line. I've been locking on in the O-line because it's really the position we need to focus on. Jordan Mills, the new guy, number 50. He looked good on his one-on-one drills. He was stuffing everybody. He did not do any 11-11 drills. I don't think they got him up yet. I mean, obviously, he probably hasn't really looked at the playbook yet because he just signed today. But again, he's more of a Jalen Moore roster spot because Jalen Moore, J-Mo, as Trey called, J-Mo, I like that, J-Mo. He has a lower leg strength, so they brought in this guy, Jordan Mills. he looks okay. He was pretty solid on 101s. We'll see how he looks on team drills. Depending on how preseason goes, he might be able to make the roster. Not bad. He looked pretty good. I mean, again, one day it's hard to really gauge. He hasn't played 11 on 11s, but looked pretty good on 101 drills. We'll see. It depends on how healthy J-Mo is. If Jalen Moore is healthy, they're going to bring him back, and this guy doesn't make the team. But you got to think about it. So O-line, I kind of wrote down who's going to make this O-line. Like I'm starting to kind of think about this position, like who's going to start, who's going to be on this line, right? You got to think about guys like Colton McKivitz, Justin Skule. Will they make it? Justin Skule doesn't look good. He doesn't look good. I'm sorry, Justin Skule. I know you're coming off a torn ACL. You just don't look good. Colton McKivitz had a good day today. He looked better. He looked good. He dominated Robert Mdiche on a rep, and then he taunted him. He's kind of feeling himself. Jason Poe, they moved him into the second team today. He's doing well. Jason Poe, the undrafted guy, second team today, second team rep. I like it. So, starting line right now, if I had to guess, Trent Williams, Aaron Banks on the left side, Jake Brendel at center, Spencer Burford, right guard, and Mike McGlinchey, right tackle. And then you have Brunskill, the Swiss Army knife. You got Colton McKivitz. What's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then who else? Do you keep 9 linemen? Keep 9. So then you would probably keep Jason Poe because he's looking good. And who's your 9th guy? Do you keep Justin Skule? I don't know. We'll see. Or do you keep this guy Jordan Mills? Or will J-Mo come back? And do you put him on the roster? So that's kind of where we're at with this O-line. It's starting to get a little bit more clear. The O-line looked good today, though. First team looked good. On D-line, I brought this guy up many times. Kevin Givens. This guy looks good. I really like Kevin Givens. I'm impressed with what I've seen. He's making this roster. No ifs, ands, or buts. Kevin Givens continues to have big-time days. He's just getting pressure. He has good technique. I like Kevin Givens. He's going to be a big part of this interior D-line rotation. I feel it. So, all right, let's get to some questions. Let's see. Hey, Peter Parker says, I think Brendel should start. Brunskill next to Burford or Mike McGlinchey. Yeah, I think Brendel should start too. I'm just not sure what they're going to do with Brunskill again. I don't want them to move Brunskill at right guard and then you don't even play Spencer Burford. I feel Burford is earning a spot on that line. He's putting in the work, man. This guy is a rookie, and he hasn't missed a beat. He hasn't missed a snap at first team right guard. I love the kid. Let's see. Sad Niner fan, who's the right guard? Yeah, Burford. That's basically the question. John V says, versatile players are great, but you have to be proficient on the craft before your impact out there is versatile. You're right. They're good to have for injury, for depth, but if you're not, like you said, proficient in your craft, if you're just not great at one position, then when you get placed in there, you're going to have some bad moments. You're not stable out there. So I agree. It's nice to have versatility, and I know Kyle Shanahan wants people to be able to do all these things, but I'd rather have a guy just be good at one, really good at one area, instead of, he can do everything. So we'll see what happens. Justin says, who do you think will have the biggest D-line impact after Bosa? It's a good question. Arik Armstead. He's probably your second best D-lineman on this team. Armstead was stellar last year, especially once he kind of got into that interior mix. Him and DJ Jones were just getting into that backfield so quick. They were so great at creating pressure and taking off taking some double team effort off of everybody else and taking that pressure off, helping Nick Bosa get some holes there. So I really like Arik Armstead. He doesn't get enough credit. People never give this guy the flowers he deserves. So I think Arik Armstead. After Nick Bosa, to me, it's Armstead. Those two guys are going to wreak havoc, as they should. And if Kinlaw can stay healthy, the way he's looking, he's trimmed down. He looks quick and explosive. He looks healthy. Javon Kinlaw with Armstead in that middle, that might be some scary, scary moments for offensive linemen. So I'm excited to see that. My man Rohan, what's good, my man? How you doing? Big time fan of Rohan. Go give Rohan a follow if you're not. This guy's killing it out there. The content game is amazing. This guy's hard worker. He's on YouTube. He's on Twitter. 49er Web Zone. He's not got an Instagram now. He was hanging out with me today all day, taking his notes, watching. Oh, his notes are crazy, man. His notes are crazy. So shout out to Big Rohan, my man. Let's move on. Running game was really good today. That's what I was saying earlier. Run game was solid. I think the run game is continuing to get better, and it makes sense because the O line continues to get better. You know, it goes one on one, hand in hand together, and the O line continuing to block well is only going to make the run game better. And if these guys can hold their blocks and do well in the run game, then it's all going to be fine because this is what the offense is predicated on, right? It's predicated on the run game. If this team can pound the ball down your throat and just boom, 85% runs one day, it's going to open up the play action. It's going to open up everything else, and everything will come with Trey. But the run game is the key to Kyle Shanahan's offense, and we know it. And the run game looks pretty good. The O-line is holding their blocks. Today, Ty Davis-Price, again, this guy's solid. TDP is great. I mean, him and Elijah Mitchell have been continuing to just stand out on a daily basis. But TDP, this guy, the way he punishes defenders at the second level, holy moly, he's like a truck just powering through guys. And today he had some outside runs. Like there was one run outside corner, and he hit that edge fast. I didn't think he had that in him because, you know, he's really that gritty, up-the-gut type runner that you see in his film, but he can hit that edge pretty quick. He's quicker than he was. We were talking about it. And when he, like, commits and he knows where he's going, it's over. It's over. When he has to dance, though, at the line, that's kind of when he, he's questioning himself. When he has to make a decision on where to cut, that's where he falters. But he's still young. He's still learning. And once he figures out where to be, once he anticipates where the hole is going to open up, and he can read where the hole is developing, he's going to be so good. Because when he knows and he's so, like, committed to it and he kind of, like, figures it out, he's gone. He's gone. He's money. TDP is going to be solid runner. I really like this kid. I mean, every day he's had a big play. And there's been times where he's made mistakes, but he always bounces back strong from those mistakes. And that's the best thing that you can do as a younger player is, you know, you make a mistake, don't get down on yourself, just bounce back. And he does that every single day. So good to see. And then speaking of the run, Trey Lance did some damage on the ground today. He had multiple QB keepers. There was a design run. They all were solid gains. So today you saw the mobility on display. I love Trey, man. And again, with the mobility, once he kind of has the game slow down for him and he can mix that mobility in, plus the run game with the blocking up front, this offense is going to be so dynamic. And today we saw some runs from Trey, and it was nice. Again, QB keepers, running it to the left. He feels confident. He feels really nice. He was moving really smooth with the ball in his hands. And the thing I've noticed about Trey is every day he gets more comfortable. He just gets more confident. He's telling people where to go. He knows where they got to line up. He's directing traffic. He's directing the players. He's 22 years old, and he's able to kind of lead the way like a quarterback should, a franchise quarterback should. And I've noticed that out of him a lot. He's really comfortable back there in that pocket, and that's going to go a long way. So every day, he's looking hard. He's looking good. So get to some questions. Let's get to some questions here. My man, Armstead, so underrated, says Justin. Yep. Rohan says, show tomorrow. I'm excited. I'm so excited. I can't wait to be chopping it up with my man Rohan. That's going to be fun. Now, I'm probably more excited to hang out with Rohan than he is to me. He's bigger. He's like too big for me, I think. He's too humble. But his brother was there. His brother, 16-year-old kid, he's taller than everybody I know. Guy's a beast. So shout out to him. Let's see. 49ers Red Zone says, Roger's been killer. I appreciate you. John V says, Rohan is a boss working his way up. Respect the grind. He's definitely climbing the ladder. My man, 49ers Red Zone Marco says, glad I was able to meet you. I'm glad I was able to meet you today, man. It was fun chopping it up with you guys. Let's see. How's Drake Jackson looking? Overall, he's had a pretty solid good camp, right, for a rookie. He's moved up to the first team a few times when Bosa's been out. Obviously, he got just stonewalled by Trent Williams the time he had to go up against him. But I like Drake. You know, he's had some good moments in camp. He's young. He's, a rookie. He's going to have rookie moments, but he's working hard. He's gotten a lot of reps with the twos as well. Drake Jackson, I said this before, once he kind of gets his body into that shape that it needs to be, not that he's out of shape, but being in a NFL weight room for another year, it's going to do him wonders. He's pretty good. You can tell he has a motor. He's very athletic, but once he kind of trims himself and gets himself jet like Javon Kinlaw, right? Big, massive guy. He was so huge, larger than life. And then now you look at him, he's just like chiseled out. So it's like, whoa, the Javon Kinlaw just locking himself in the gym. And now that he's put himself in this crazy, crazy condition, like after a few years in the weight room, you can just see how much he's improved in terms of his, quickness and his explosiveness. And that's what's going to happen with Drake Jackson. Once he gets himself chiseled, I mean, he's going to be a monster on that field. I like what I've seen out of Drake Jackson. So that's pretty much it for today. Quick show, nothing too crazy. It was a long practice, but nothing too, crazy out there. Again, Trey Lance missed a few passes, some drop passes, finished very strong on that final, move the ball, 2-minute drill. That was a really good way to end camp again. That to me was the highlight of the day. Ray-Ray McCloud, probably the most standout player on offense. He had a lot of good plays. And of course, I didn't mention him. I can't believe I went a whole show without really mentioning his name. Brandon Aiyuk. Hello? Crazy? Of course, Brandon Aiyuk. He catches everything. They throw the ball to him, and it's like a magnet. It just boom, boom. It's effortlessly. Brandon Aiyuk, unbelievable. The guy is insane this offseason. And, going back to the press conference today, Trey Lance talked about Brandon Aiyuk, and he just says, that's all BA. That's all Brandon. He put in the work. He knows what he wanted. He's told me he wanted to become this, what he wanted to become this year, and he went out and did it. And you can just see the results speak for themselves. Brandon Aiyuk went out, trained, focused his mind, focused his body and everything, and the results are speaking for itself. Like Brandon Aiyuk, you can tell he's bigger, he's faster, he's stronger mentally, he's cleared, because last year I don't think he was in a good mental place, right? We've talked about that before, where I feel like Brandon Aiyuk last year, so much pressure on his shoulders. Everybody saying, oh my God, he's going to have this Pro Bowl season because of the good rookie year. So much pressure. Expectations were high, and I don't know if he knew how to deal with it. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes these young players, the pressure hits them, and they're like, shit, I don't know how to deal with it. And then all of a sudden, the next season, they realize, okay, this is how I deal with it. This is what I got to focus on. This is what I got to work on. And you saw it as the season went by last year. The second half, he was really kind of figuring it out. And he was a big part of that second half run of the year. So you can kind of see how he transformed last year, and it's carried over to this offseason. I mean, guys, stand out. So, of course, Brandon Aiyuk, another good day. I mean, it's just crazy. You throw him the ball, and he's pretty much going to catch it. Like, when he doesn't make a play, you're like, okay, what's wrong with him? What's wrong with him? So, definitely a good day for Brandon Aiyuk, as always. Let me see. I think I did leave out Emmanuel Moseley. Solid day in the office again. This guy's been good. The secondary this year is just another story. I know we've talked about the secondary. I'm so excited to see where this secondary is going to be this year. Charvarius Ward, I'm loving the signing. He's been coming in this offseason, and he's just earning his money already. And Emmanuel Moseley has been as well. He's in a contract year. You can tell he wants to go out and prove he's a Pro Bowler this year because this money's on the line, right? And I feel like Moseley's always had that ability to be this top guy, but then the injuries limit him, and then he gets a little inconsistent, and he's got to fight back from the injuries. So if he can stay healthy this year, I think Pro Bowl's not out of the question for E-Man. That's going to be a solid secondary. But anyways, that's it for today. We will be back tomorrow. Training camp, tomorrow's going to be day 10. Day 10 tomorrow. Unbelievable. We'll be back. And then I'll be live with Marco and Rohan tomorrow. Look forward to that. We grinding. We're going to keep pushing, and we're going to keep grinding. Y'all have a good night. Have a good rest of your day. I might go on live on Instagram later. I'm going to get a little rest. It's been a long week. I'm going to try to get some rest on a Saturday. I might go have some fun. We'll see. I'm going to get some rest, though. See if there's any final questions. Oh, this is a good question. I can't believe I didn't get to this. I did note this, and I think I grazed this note. 49ers Raj says, more looking better than Huff. I knew I wrote that down, but I think I might have skipped it over. See, it was on my last page. I skipped it over. Tarvarius Moore took the first team reps with Jimmy Ward at safety today for a second day in a row. I said this yesterday. For what it's worth, it could be a little developing story. Tarvarius Moore continues to kind of stand out in these practices at safety. I really, really, really am impressed with what I've seen out of Tarvarius Moore. He's athletic, and the thing that I worried about this year, right, when Tarvarius Moore was coming back from an injury, was he still going to have that athleticism, that speed, that quickness? And he still has it. When you have an Achilles rupture, when you tear your Achilles, you worry about that stuff. You worry if you're going to still be fast, if you're still going to be quick, if you're going to have that lateral, side-to-side movement. And Tarvarius Moore hasn't lost the step, and that's tough because I know Huff at the beginning of the stages of training camp had a lock on this spot. I don't think he has a lock. It's definitely a battle, and Tarvarius Moore is really showcasing his athleticism, and he's quick. Maybe they're going to use some three safety sets. They might. You never know. Might be, again, situational football. Maybe you'll have Tarvarius Moore in on a play. Maybe you're going to have Hufanga on a play. And Hufanga's still, a different type of player than Moore, A little bit more physical, great against the run. Moore's got that range. So it depends on the situation. I definitely feel that competition is heating up. Tarvarius Moore has looked good on cap. So good question. I'm glad I got back to that because I did want to get to that. I left it out. I can't believe I was going to I'm glad you didn't let me finish this without talking to Tarvarius Moore, because Tarvarius Moore deserves his flowers. He needs them. So, anyways, 49ers throwback. Appreciate you. Thanks for always supporting me. He says you guys are always busy. Appreciate the hard work you do. We are always busy. Always busy, but we love it. John says, good surgeon, great physical therapy, great outcome. That's it. You have a good doctor, good surgeon, you have good therapy, you should be good. If any of those things aren't great, then you shouldn't be good. So that's it. Anyways, y'all have a good night. With that, I'm finally done. So that's it. Have a good one. Thank you. Hit the like button.